So I'm here with Anna Murphy, who is our Assistant Director of Student Support with Cobb County School District. We are here today at the very first session for our SWAG Spring Conference. So I just want to kind of get some information from you, Anna, about how you're feeling about this year's Spring Conference and this conference so far. You just got done doing one of your first sessions.
So I did. It was awesome. Everybody was very active, very engaged throughout the sessions. I had the opportunity to be a panelist during lunch and just really have been loving the conversations that are happening during the sessions, after the sessions, in between the sessions. It's just, I really love that level of discussion and power of educating one another and really just supporting one another. It's been really, really, really awesome.
Awesome. So tell us about what your first session was about.
So both of my sessions were the same, and it was the Trauma-Informed Education Support Plan.
Okay.
And that is based on House Bill 855 for students who are in foster care and making sure that they receive the level of support that they need based on the potential of the trauma that they received.
Okay. And I know even within our department, a lot of the discussion, we've kind of been a little bit focusing not a lot, but just the focus on this bill and our foster students and trying to figure out, how to structure our TIES meeting, which is our trauma-informed educational support plan, right, for our foster students in foster care. We've kind of been still kind of spearheading and figuring out how to do with our admin and our support team. So what kind of was the motivation in making sure that we're starting to kind of maneuver and focusing on our foster students and making sure that they have a plan through their matriculation? So
honestly, for me, my focus has always been to just recognize the most vulnerable of our student populations and making sure that they have a voice. I think when you have a child who's in foster care, there's so many different levels of need, but the number one is really making sure that they have a voice as to what they really need, and that we just don't all of a sudden medicate them or all of a sudden put them in special education and lump them into the different categories, and making it very individualized based on what they need. And one of the discussions we had this morning and this afternoon is making sure that we are then also not putting our impression of what the level of trauma that they've experienced on them. Right? I think it's very easy to hear some of the stories and go, oh my gosh, how can they even function, where the child is like, well, this is no big deal. Who are we to then say it's a bigger deal than they recognize it? So it really, again, coming back to making sure we're supporting the most vulnerable of our students, and that they have a voice for themselves.
This being our, the spring conference with SWAG, what are you hoping to gain during this conference, aside of being a speaker?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love the connections. I love the networking. I love just seeing people that you've known for years and years and years, but it's almost revitalizing your practice and revitalizing what you know to be true as a social worker, and just feeling that you're not alone. I think even in a district, when there's some districts that only have one social worker, some have 60 social workers, but you can still feel alone because you're the only social worker in that particular school. And I think conferences such as SWAG provides that level of connectedness, and so that you don't feel like you're battling the needs all by yourself.
All by yourself. And honestly, that was kind of why I was so excited about this being my first conference. And even just coming in, just the energy of people that are also doing some of the same work that you're doing, and who understand what you are experiencing, so that you don't drive ourselves crazy doing the work that we're doing as school social workers. But thank you so much, Anna. I really appreciate a lot of the information you gave.
And if I could, I'm going to support every district to make sure that they're in 100% compliance with their SWAG membership, just as Cobb does. Every year, we make sure that membership is paid before the end of the school year. So.